Hello, welcome back to my channel and to my Fighting Fantasy Gamebook retrospective. And today we've reached the third in the series, lovely, cuddly old Forest of Doom. This is a favourite amongst Fighting Fantasy Gamebook fans, isn't it? It was my personal favourite of the first three books which were released. It's the one I got into the most and I enjoyed playing the most. It's the first solo adventure by Ian Livingstone. And Ian Livingstone takes a lot of time over introducing this world that would be called Alancia. We're introduced to Yaztromo, the little wizard who lives in a tree by Darkwood Forest. And we're introduced to Stonebridge, the village of the dwarfs. And these are names and places that will recur throughout the series as Livingstone expands the mythology and lore of Alancia. I think part of the reason I liked this book when I was younger is because it was easy. You know, Warlock of Firetop Mountain, they got trapped in that damn maze. Citadel of Chaos was really tough. But this one is easy. And going back and revisiting it, it's a bit too easy. You know, you can complete this game in 20 minutes flat. I'm not even kidding. Without hardly any battles, right? All you've got to do, you've got to find this hammer, which for some peculiar reason, the dwarfs of Stonebridge won't fight unless they've got a hammer. Why? That's never really explained. But anyway, you have to find the hammer, and it's in two pieces. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Well, the hammer bit, the handle bit, right, you find that within about 10 paragraphs. And you don't really have to do much to get it. It's pretty easy. There's this goblin in a cage. You kill the goblin, and it's at the bottom of the cage. Right? And then the hammer, the sort of head bit of the hammer, is arbitrarily found in some crypt with some ghoul lying on it. How did it get there? And if you've got the right piece of equipment, you can get it pretty easily. Then you come to the edge of the forest. It says, there's Stonebridge. Have you got the hammer? Yes. Brilliant. End of the game. It's so easy that this is one of the very few books where I marked out in pen, a little tick there, the actual correct path. I always found it really difficult to find the correct path. But in this book, I marked it out because it was so easy. And lo and behold, when I played it again this time, I did it in about 20 minutes flat. I have to be honest, the only sort of curveball that Ian Livingstone throws you is when you come to the village, just before you come to the village, there's this marauding tribe that take things off you, and you have to give them at least 4 items. So if you haven't got, more than 4 items, more than the 2 pieces of the hammer, then you're stuffed. But that's about it. There's no big bad to beat. There's no big sorcerer or necromancer, or that you have to beat. You just walk through a forest, get a couple of bits of stuff, and then sod off. It's a bit too easy. And also, this time around, okay, I know I'm reading this as someone in my 50s, and I first read this book when I was about 10 or 11 years old, a bit different. But it lacked a lot of atmosphere. I was a bit disappointed. It wasn't particularly very interestingly written. And the encounters you have, they either lead to something or they don't. They're just dead ends or they're not. And they're not particularly that interesting. And all that enjoyment that I had when I first played the game first time round, I couldn't reanimate it somehow. I did a video about best book covers many moons ago, and I didn't include this cover, and I found out that it was extremely popular. Ian McCaig, this is the shape changer person, and it's a very popular cover amongst Fighting Fantasy fans, so there it is. But I would also recommend the interior illustrations by Malcolm Barter. I love their sort of cleanness and their sort of sense of atmosphere. They really add a lot to the book, I think, and I think they're part of the reason I fell in love with the book in the first place. So I'll confess a wee bit of disappointment. I wish it was a bit more tough, a bit more of a challenge. I wish it was a bit better written. Though some of it, there's a bit at the start where you're this adventurer and you're lying down at night and you gaze at your broadsword, wondering when you'll next have to wipe the blood of some vile creature from its sharp edge. I know I do that many nights. But I'd like a bit more of that kind of colour and texture in the book. So I was a bit disappointed. I'm sorry. But there we go. By the way, is anyone watching this? It's not had many views, this retrospective. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying it and you want me to continue. The next book will be Starship Traveller. Or otherwise I might wrap it up. I don't know if people are really interested in going through the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook series anymore. Oh well. Maybe see you next time. Thanks very much.